7% of all high school athletes go on to play in college. As proud members of the 93% that didn't, this is Fratletes.
All right, everyone. Welcome to episode 12 of Fratletes. On today's schedule, we have a little bit of fantasy football talk and a big fantasy football announcement within our podcast within a new league. So be on the lookout for our upcoming tweets. We also will be talking a little baseball, our rakes and takes, and we also have Hayden's Bachelorrete, of course, and the all-time great debate between the grizzly bear and the silverback gorilla. As most of you know, this is one of the most controversial takes in the world. And we have three guys right before you that take this debate very seriously, take it to heart, and we think we have a lot of information on our plate that can back up our point. But with that being said, we can get straight into our big announcement with the Fantasy Football League. As most of you know, this is a lot more than just a game. This is life. So with that, we want to open up this life with only competitiveness, and we will not take any weenies. We want only absolute true fantasy footballers.
The best of the best.
The best of the best. We want you don't miss setting your lineup. You don't miss setting your roster. You don't
auto draft.
You don't.
No auto draft.
Absolutely. Absolutely
good
do not
say,
auto
Hayden.
draft.
Good say.
Great chime. Yes, you do not auto draft. That'll just ruins everything for everyone. If we're being honest here.
Everything.
In my leagues, if you auto draft, it is a guaranteed. Like the group votes on if they kick you out the next year. Like that's how
as it should be. As it should be. And as
Should.
three-time commissioner of the year in my fantasy football league, I'm proud to represent Fratletes. What are you smiling over there for? Baldr, what are you laughing at? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
It's kind of like when my dad would brag about being first chair tuba in middle school. I'm like, dude, there's only one chair. Like, it's not that big a deal.
First chair tuba. No way 2 kids in middle school were playing the tuba.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is you don't see anybody else in being the commissioner of our league, huh? Do you? So exactly. 3-time commissioner of the year, yours truly. I will be the leader of our league, PPR, full point PPR. So if you don't know what that means, you probably shouldn't be in the league to begin with. But yeah, so we're gonna do kind of like a raffle on Twitter, basically just a big tweet that'll be released tonight. If you listen to this on Saturday, Sunday, whenever it may be, that tweet will already be out. So go look, go like it. The draft is set right now to this second, August 28th at 5 p.m. That's a Sunday after all the preseason games, so that we know who's injured, we know who to draft, who not to draft. I think that's all the main points. But basically, just by liking the tweet, you will be entered. And we're hoping it will not be. We're hoping it will. No, we're not hoping. I mean, we hope we get all the likes in the world, but probably around like enough people to where we can draw from a hat, to where it won't be one of us sitting writing names on a piece of paper for hours. But yeah, it's as simple as you liking a tweet. If you want a chance to enter the Fantasy Football League, there are 5 spots, 10-man, full point PPR. I think that covers everything.
Yeah. Speaking of leagues, what a brilliant move by the NFL with this whole new thing with the arbitrator, but then they can appeal. Because after every suspension in NFL history, half the league hates it, half the league loves it, and everyone just fights over it. Now the NFL can put something out and catch a vibe for how everyone's feeling about the suspension, and then be like, okay, we're appealing that actually for less, and then or for more, and they can try to please more people. So they were looking at Twitter for a while, and they were like, oh, they are not happy with 6 games. So they're like, we got to appeal that thing. I think it was a brilliant move. All they did was Roger Goodell so graciously took the power out of his hands by placing the power back into his hands.
Damn, I didn't
It's simply genius move. Genius move.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it's my main thing is just because I'm a degenerate gambler is seeing Calvin Ridley get a whole season.
Yes.
That's
for
what
betting
really
on his
hurts me, bro.
team. He bet on his team.
Yeah. And why,
Like, I
why can't Roger Goodell why can't he appeal that? That's ridiculous. That's way too much.
Like, I understand like if you're making money like off the NFL for rigging and stuff, but like if you want to suspend him a few games just because he bet on the Falcons, like I understand that. That's just bad gambling. But like a whole
Maybe not
season?
suspend him. Maybe they should suspend him. Maybe they should just like check on his health, early CTE.
I think that's why he left, for mental health. He like was feeling the like. Remember, he was looking for a chance to bet on the Falcon.
Maybe he like sent one way too hard on a Sunday football slate. Oh, we lost Zach for a minute. Maybe he sent one too hard and was like, he woke up on a Monday morning real hungover and was like, "Oh my God, dude, I bet on the Falcons yesterday."
Yeah.
And then it hits him even more. He's like, "Holy shit, I played for the Falcons."
I just wish there was like a common sense clause in like every law where it's like, listen, if it's a situation like Calvin Ridley, like yes, you should not allow gambling, but if he's like he's injured, he's not playing, he's not rigging it, obviously, like do we really have to suspend him?
Zach said his computer shut down, but I'm with you.
Yeah, I would say if there's just like a common sense clause, that probably like, that would solve most of it.
I'm sure
for gambling's
Zach,
sake. I don't know about sexual assault. That's a little bit of a different demon there.
yeah, it's 6 games was shocking to me. And I don't know, dude. It's hard for me to keep up with all the information, so I really don't want to get too into the detail because I don't know as much as other people do about this situation. So what my opinion is, like, I personally think he shouldn't play a single game this year. But
Yeah.
I've heard cases to where like the judge only accounted 12 of the 24 girls at the trial. So I'm just confused by that. Why didn't they include the other 12? I don't know. It's just I feel I kind of like Browns fans are in a very, very weird situation.
Yeah, bro. It's
Where,
like it's like you gotta like conceal being a Browns fan if you are.
if you like, what do you do like supporting them right now? Like being a Browns fan is kind of just like a bad look right now.
Yeah, I
It's
wouldn't put it on
just
my resume.
I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't put it on a resume. Bollinger is out with power. Oh, power. Oh wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
So I guess we could just like edit some of this out, and then when he gets back in, we can go to the great debate.
What was I gonna say? I don't know. I feel like if you look at like a criminal case, like if you are charged with something and you plead guilty, or like you admit what you did, the sentence is usually like lower. But if you plead not guilty, they'll like tack on extra shit because you're denying, like lying.
I
So
got
like,
you.
well, at least lying in their eyes. So like, why wouldn't because he's maintaining his innocence heavily. Like if he was like, yeah, like I understand, I did it, like that was my like I am fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to be better.
Personal opinion, though, he's kind of like a predator, and I would not want to be a Browns fan. And it's just kind of a bad look.
I will say this. Like, I understand, like, you want to back someone who plays for your team, but some of the people go so far out of their way to hype him up and pretend like he is the most innocent man in the world and that he's the victim here. And, like, that I don't get at all. Like, some people truly believe, like, they're just so brainwashed that because they're like, yo, the Browns are finally good, that they're just completely looking past that this man had 24 cases. Like,
here's the other thing. I saw a poll the other day where it was like, Browns fans, knowing everything you know now, who do you want as your quarterback? This was before the 6-game suspension was released. It was like, Browns fans, knowing what you know now about the situation, who would you want as your starting quarterback going into week 1? Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson? It was like 63% Watson and like 37% Baker. And it's just, and there was like 13,000 votes on it. And I'm like, this is like, what our culture.
Ew, Dick Ryder.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bad though now. Like, they're like, Browns fans feel like they just have to defend him for everything. And I'm like, you can admit that what he did was wrong and he deserves to be punished. Like, if you admit that as a Browns fan, if you're like, if he does his time, like serves a suspension, then yeah, I'll be hyped to have him back. Like then I'm like, okay. But the guys who are like, he doesn't even deserve to be suspended, like all this stuff, I'm like, stop putting football before like the 24 cases that this man had acquired.
Dude, and I was listening to part of my take today, and apparently, like within his suspension, he's only allowed to get massages from like the team the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So like,
as long as he's under
and they were
contract in the NFL.
like, they're just talking about like, how does, like, if you're to the point where you have to be monitored to get like a massage, like get a massage chair, dude. Like,
a massage chair.
It was bad.
That
Well,
is
I
really
don't know,
bad.
man. It's just a NFL is back, baby. Raiders versus Jags tonight.
Dude, I'm so excited. I don't care about either team. I'm gonna watch that so intensely. I'm gonna watch
Take
all
the
way to
under.
end.
Take the under.
I'm taking
I'm
the
gonna bet
under.
the over.
Oh man,
No
dude,
one takes
half these guys on the roster haven't scored a touchdown in the NFL in their life.
This is their one shot, bro. Tom Benson Stadium brings magic. I'm telling you.
They never hit the over, I feel like there.
What's it set at? Like 32?
It's gotta be low. Let me check.
36.
36.
Oh, bet the
points,
under
man.
on that.
That's a lot of points.
It could be 30 actually. It could be 30. Let me look.
It sounds like a Steelers over under for a 1 o'clock December game.
All right, let's see here.
At what's the stadium called? Seizure?
Tom Benson.
No. The Steelers.
No, Acrisure.
Oh, actually, yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
They did take down the ketchup bottles too. Brutal. Just takes all home field.
Yeah, dude. So that took all the home field advantage away.
I think they might keep one. They might keep one up there.
That's
30 and a half. It's 30 and a half.
Wow. Maybe the over is the play.
Las Vegas is favored by 2.5. How do they make that prediction?
Bro, I was gonna hammer like Vegas by like 10.
Yeah. How do you you haven't seen any of these guys play together at all? How are you making Vegas is wild, bro. All right, we want to get into the big debate.
I'm ready, dude. I'm so ready. So, I believe it is me and Bollinger, Team Silverback Gorilla, versus Hayden, Team Grizzly Bear. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Team wrong.
Big wrong.
I'm excited to hear your arguments just so I can tell you how fucking dumb they are.
Well, here's the thing: is I'm prepared for anything that you say right now. Like I'm prepared for it. I have been doing research all week long. This thing gets me heated. This argument is.
I'm ready to back Cini up.
If I need, hold me back.
Yeah, I'm ready to be there in case shit gets ugly.
I'm not gonna lie. All right, I'll start it off. I'm not gonna get into anything. I'm just gonna give a few statistics about each. All right. So me and a couple of my experts, we crunched the numbers and we've come down. We've got the Silverback
Who are
Gorilla
your
coming
experts?
in. We got the Silverback Gorilla coming in at like plus 160 money line. Me and the guy I work with, we're the experts.
Wait, the Silverback's got plus 160. That means he's the underdog.
Underdog for sure. Everybody loves a good. Yeah. Here, dude, listen to these stats. Yeah. Listen to these stats.
Yeah, it's definitely an underdog.
This is like the largest size, okay, of each.
You can't think he's gonna win and also think he's the underdog.
Listen, yes, you can. Everyone loves an underdog story.
They love it. If you're thinking that one's gonna win, that's not the underdog. That's your favorite.
No, bro, you're not. You're looking at it wrong. You're looking at it wrong.
Listen to this. The Silverback maximum height is 6 foot tall versus the Grizzly Bear at 8 foot. The Silverback 485 pounds maximum versus 800 pounds maximum. The Silverback can reach 20 miles an hour. The Grizzly Bear can reach 35 miles an hour.
You're making my argument easier.
I'm making my argument that the Silverback should be plus 160. It's like Rocky versus the Russian, dude. It's like Rocky versus the Russian right here.
It's like the U.S. versus Russia and the Miracle on Ice.
I've heard that was staged, but I've heard that was rigged. But anyways, USA. So So yeah, Hayden, you clearly are the favorite in this argument, but the silverback gorilla
Thank you.
is not. I'm figuratively
No.
like plus 160 money line for the silverback. You should hammer this all day long. Anything you want to say now that you know the weigh-ins?
Here's my
the
thing.
weigh-in.
So Lily Mancini just put all like why the Grizzlies so fucking awesome. Like yes, it's probably gonna be minus 160 or whatever. Like he's favored because he's a bigger, faster, stronger animal. And like okay,
Glad you see my point.
Glad
you see my point.
You're saying the silverback wins.
Correct.
You're defending the grizzly bear.
No,
that the Grizzly Bear's favored, but he's not
That means
winning.
he's going to win.
If when the silverback wins,
I understand Marshall's going to be the underdog to Notre Dame. I'm still hammering Marshall money line.
Marshall's going to win.
This isn't a fucking game. Like if you're saying one is going to win, one is better, that is your favorite. So you're
because I thought Poirier was better than McGregor. Put 100 on McGregor still. Like just because one's better, I like people's odds sometimes.
You're giving me a few examples of where the underdog wins, but 90% of the time the
Poirier actually won. The underdog lost that one.
Like the favorite wins. The favorite
it was actually
wins.
bad example.
Like most of the time, the favorite wins. So if you're saying silverback,
if you ever bet the favorite,
I'm saying here's what I'm saying. Vegas releases official odds. Pen and paper. You look at you go to a weigh-in. All right. There's Dana White. There's Joe Rogan. There's everyone. You got the scale. You got everything. You got
the silverback. You got the Grizzly.
8 foot, 800-pound grizzly bear steps up. He's 8 foot, 800 pounds. You got silverback step in. All right. 6 foot, 485. They square off. They face off. They get up.
Grizzly Bear almost didn't make it.
You're right, Hayden. Maybe the silverback should be plus 180. Maybe I am crazy.
So okay, so
you're more money for us, Hayden.
You're interpreting this as like take away all bias. You are choosing the silverback, but the odds don't like the odds being what they are show that the grizzly bear is therefore. And I'm not talking about like once in a blue moon, whatever. It just like odds are that the grizzly bear will beat the shit out of a silverback gorilla. And then knowing that by admitting that, you admitting that you are wrong because in that you are going to lose on your bet.
Here's what I'm getting at. Size doesn't matter. And with that being said, this 8 foot, 800-pound grizzly bear is known to be very aggressive.
Yes.
Overly aggressive, some would say. And you could compare this. You could compare this, Hayden, to points off turnovers. Because
I was thinking Trevor Penning.
Okay, we can get there too. But we could put the silverback will make counters off of the grizzly bear's mistakes because of him being overly aggressive. Because if you look at who's the books, who's the one that's hitting the books in this situation? The silverback gorilla is way smarter. The silverback gorilla is way smarter than the grizzly bear. Way smarter.
Pulling up the score count so far.
Points off turnovers, Hayden. The over aggressive grizzly bear will make the mistake. I don't know if he gets poked in the eye. I don't know if he takes a shot to the leg. I don't know. But you also got to look at grizzly bears have 4 feet. The silverback gorilla has 2 hands and 2 feet and four thumbs.
Thumbs are a big thing.
All right. So no, they're not because we're not throwing around weapons. It's hand-to-hand combat. Second of all,
what if he grabbed a branch? What if he just grabbed?
Oh, shut the fuck up! This is in a desert. Like this is.
It's a desert. Why are they meeting in the desert? He's gonna throw sand in his eye. He'll throw sand in his eye.
Okay. There's a blank, empty room. This is not. The argument would be then a silverback gorilla with a branch versus a grizzly bear with an M16 or some shit. I don't fucking know, but it's
why did your guy get the M16?
We're looking at least plus 500 now.
All right, let me just say this. Let me say this. First of all, just don't follow up with talk after. Just give me one. What's one move? What's one move the gorilla's gonna do? Okay, now
it bases off of what the Grizzly does. Points off turnovers.
He doesn't know fucking kung fu.
He's overly aggressive, Hayden. The Grizzly Bear's going to make the first move.
So here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. I'll break it down. Here's what we see. The Grizzly Bear goes for the first swat. It's like a defensive lineman coming off. Goes for the first squat. The Silverback ducks, throat chop, and now the Grizzly's dazed.
If you think
that's when we're not run. That's when he gets on top and starts giving him the business.
You seen that video? You seen that video of the guy getting the DUI and the cops just like, all right, now hit a hoot nanny and a hoedown and he's gonna do the alphabet backwards from D to A, and that's what you just reminded me of. Sorry to interrupt, but continue.
If you think the Grizzly Bear is gonna come at a side angle and just swipe his paw, what was that noise?
Thunder?
Thunder.
Oh,
that sounded. I literally was talking like a grizzly bear, and then a grizzly bear sound came over the speaker.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
That was wild.
Dude, it's a fucking sign. So anyway, if you think the grizzly bear is gonna come out like a side, that's not the case. The grizzly bear is gonna run. Now, like you said, he has 4 legs. The silverback has 2. Grizzly bear's faster because he's more able to push off, so he's way faster.
He can run away faster.
He's going to lunge like this with both hands and his head forward, head up like a good solid tackle, but hands up because he has fucking claws. That's what you're not thinking about. He's got fucking talons. I don't care.
He's got 20 of them. He's got 20 of them.
Yes. So even if the gorilla ducks, the grizzly bear is still gonna swipe down and shred his chest. Like he's not.
He's dodging it
completely. Even if the silverback pinned him down and is punching him, the gorilla just has to. The bear just has to wrap his hands around the gorilla and shred him. Like the grizzly bear is going to fuck up this gorilla. And this
you're living up to the hype.
Don't get me started on if there's the grizzly bear's babies. Oh, if there's babies by the side, the grizzly bear is not fucking going down out of fight.
First you get an M16, now you get babies.
I'm just saying, like that's a
dude. Okay, hold on.
I said, don't get me started on that. So don't get me started on that.
All I'm gonna say is, if we're talking about
the gorilla gets a knife.
Honestly, I'll take that. Because the grizzly bear still fucking wins.
First off, but if we're talking about a grizzly bear coming off the paternity list, that's a whole nother. I'm definitely on the grizzly bear side, but we're not talking about paternity list. We're not putting hypothetics in there.
Okay.
This is like a young buck.
How about this? So in The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio, won him an Academy Award, his first Academy Award. The bear attacks him and mauls him. He shoots the bear twice, stabs it countless times, and it still mauls him and like shreds the meat off his back to where his ribs are exposed. So you're telling me that a gorilla who doesn't have a gun, doesn't have a knife, can somehow take down the grizzly bear with just a couple? No! Fucking no way, bro.
Did you just use a movie?
You want to get into Planet of the Apes, Hayden?
It's a movie based on a true story. It really fucking happened.
Yeah, okay, so did Planet of the Apes.
All right, I'm logging off.
Wait, that is a good point, though, Cini. In Planet of the Apes, notice grizzly bears did not take over after the apes took over. So, like, well, we're
government didn't
How about this? I'll raise you one from that. Grizzly bears do not get experimented on like gorillas do, or in that movie. They would never make a movie about grizzly bears because they could never capture that many grizzly bears. Silverbacks are too big of pussies and too soft, and they get captured and get experimented on.
No, like you said, Hayden, the grizzly bears have the talons where the silverback gorillas have fingers and nails on their feet, on their hands and toes like us. So it's probably easier to experiment on like human-like features than, you know what I mean? That just makes more sense to me.
They were making them play with blocks and shapes. They weren't doing anything crazy with
because they're smart. They could probably fix a Rubik's Cube.
If they're so smart, why they even get captured in the first place? That's possible problematic. Let's not do that. That's probably not good. Why would they even let them get enslaved? Why did they let them do that?
Deep into the grizzly bear and silverback. Anyways, We
I
lost
think
Zach
lost
again.
Zach again.
Yeah, we definitely lost. He's having some technical difficulties with the giant storm right now. But
Dude,
my main argument.
I thought he was giving me like a shit look, like you dumb motherfucker.
No. My main argument is pen and paper. The grizzly bear is just without a doubt the bigger, stronger. It's just the more intimidating animal in this fight, right?
No.
Dude, combat, and it comes down to the silverback gorilla is just smarter. And I'm taking wisdom. I'm a big believer of wisdom. And even though I don't have much, I think it's like think smarter, not harder. Well, fight smarter, not harder. To where the grizzly bear, in my opinion, will just be way overly aggressive. It could take a mean shot to a poke in the eye, going for a big hook, or swipe to the chest. I don't know, but definitely the silverback gorilla won't be making the first move, as it's the more passive creature in this situation.
In a death match like that, wisdom does not matter. It's solely instincts and physicality. So you're telling me it's like saying like The Rock versus a nerd. The nerd would win because he's smarter than The Rock.
What about at war?
And this isn't war. This is hand-to-hand combat.
Why is
death
it
match.
just war? You could be hand-to-hand combat. There's definitely many different types of war.
Not in this scenario. Not in this scenario.
We're making up hypotheticals, damn it.
Dude,
it could be.
The argument is 1v1, not entire army.
You're telling me if you just like were probably going on a hike in the woods, you saw a silverback versus a grizzly bear, you wouldn't call it war?
I would call it a battle.
That's pretty close. All right, that's pretty
It's
similar.
It's different because why would you say we might have won the war but we lost the battle, or we might have won the battle but we lost the war type deal? Different.
But yeah, that's all. I'm just trying to get a point across. Silverback plus 160 money line, hammer it. If the grizzly bear has an M16 or he's coming off the paternity list, fade. Stay the fuck away.
I'm taking the grizzly bear money line in under 30 seconds.
Wow.
You know what? I'll give the gorilla some credit. I'll give him a minute.
You just don't respect
Little
books,
do you know
man.
the gorilla's got a shank.
He doesn't like wisdom.
The gorilla's got a shank.
He doesn't like wisdom.
Someone eventually is going to do this, though.
And I will pay to watch.
I will, too. I absolutely will.
It's just a debate. It's going to suck to, like, one of them's going to die, but, like, you have to watch it. We've been debating it for so long. Like, everyone's going to have to see it.
Also, George Kittle's on Team Grizzly Bear, and I don't think any of us are saying that we're smarter than George Kittle.
Also, now wisdom comes into play.
Oh,
so now wisdom comes into play.
See, I'm using your arguments on my side, so I benefit the most.
Okay. All right.
Silverback
plus 160. Stamp it, send it to the bank.
There's a reason he's not favored.
Whatever. All right. Let's talk some MLB. Trade deadline. A lot of stuff happened. Bunch of winners, bunch of losers. Everyone. We're not going to break down every single trade that happened. We're just, we're going to stick to our usual rakes and takes. Zach, you wanna start off in case your internet goes out again or something?
Yeah. So my rake is every fan base that was able to have a calm trade deadline, because from the hours on Tuesday, from the hours about 11 to 6, I was on 100 the entire time. Once we traded Jorge Lopez and the sky was falling in the fan base, which I don't agree with. I think it was a good trade. The sky was falling. Everyone was freaking out. Then another rake I have too is everyone who didn't fall for fake accounts, because I fell for multiple. I will not lie. I put, like, I do not check sources on deadline day because, like, it was coming so fast that this fake John Heyman account literally got me with like 4 trades.
It doesn't matter the sport.
It's
the worst feeling ever. Because, I mean, what's the first thing you do when you see like big sports news on Twitter or something? You go tell the group chat. Like,
Yeah.
instantly.
Everyone wants
And
to be the first person to say.
Everyone wants to be first, and I was very confused when I got a text. What was it you even sent? It was
I said it all caps too.
It was Rodon and Jock Peterson
Jock.
to the Braves. And I'm looking everywhere for this, and it just didn't happen.
It was a bunch. I saw a bunch of Braves fans trying to speak it into existence, and then like 20 minutes later, the fake John Heyman thing came in, and I was toast. I put in all caps trying to piss off Malachi in the chat too, like the Braves are going to win the division, and then I just looked like a fool.
I mean, you love those accounts though, like because
it keeps people humble.
Yeah,
like today,
for those guys.
I was telling you earlier, Jake. Today, this account like made it look like they were the Orioles, and they tweeted out an official thing saying we called up our top prospect, and it got like 3 or 4 Orioles like check marks to retweet it and be like huge Orioles news. Like Yahoo Sports retweeted it. All these like official accounts were retweeting it, like making this big deal out of it. And like it was just this kid with like 87 followers.
That's great.
Sometimes you get got.
Like, it was so bad.
Accept your L and move on.
It got everyone. It only got like 92 likes too, which is so sad. It got everyone. It was just after people saw it was fake, no one was liking Homie's post. No one was giving him love.
Everyone took it away.
He got hella ratioed.
You got a rake?
Yes, I do. Let me pull it up. I closed my notes app by accident. Oh, so my rake, once again, I don't watch baseball that much, so I don't really know what's going on. So my rake is just any highlight of George Pickens. Like, they make me so happy. He's going to be an absolute dog. Like, anything from where he tipped a ball, like batted it up, and then dove, like literally laying on the ground, caught it one-handed.
You mean
to him being drafted
dropped it two-handed?
Huh?
When he hit him in the hands, both hands, and he dropped it twice and then had to dive 3 yards backward, back behind the first down line to make a catch.
See, that's your negative Baltimore Ravens brain talking. I'm not gonna let that bring me down. So
I'm just saying.
It was giving all effort.
No yards after catch. It's horrible.
It was the dummy that hit the ball. It ricocheted. It's physics. I don't expect people from Baltimore to understand physics, so it's okay.
I'm putting the clip in. We're gonna see it hit his hands right now.
You'll see that the bag person was messing with him. It's not his fault. He'll be all right. But like just any highlight, like I am so excited. I can't wait to draft him in my fantasy league, like in the 3rd round. Be like,
in the 3rd round.
Not the 3rd round.
With Mitchell Trubisky and tiny hands Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, because they might throw shitty balls, but he's showing me that he can go around anywhere and catch the ball.
Did you see that interception Pickett threw into like triple coverage?
I won't talk about it.
Good.
But he's George Pickens is definitely gonna be the future. Not the 3rd round. It's like my thing is like I'm drafting first, so then I draft all the way at the end, then a double pick. So I'm probably gonna go running back, receiver, or running back, receiver, running back.
So you have the first pick. You already know.
Yeah. Because I won the league last year.
Oh, that's
winner gets first pick.
Yeah, and then 2 through 10. We used to do it where I think the order you finished, you picked a golfer in the U.S. Open, and the order they finished is the order you draft. But this last year,
that is so genius.
That's awesome. That is very smart. That's awesome.
This last 2 years, we've similar thing. Order that the league finished, the order you pick your team, but we did March Madness teams. So like,
can we have permission to take one of these possibly?
Absolutely. The March Madness one's the best because a lot of people go to pick like big names and then they get like bounced in the early bounce, big upsets.
I think the U.S. Open is awesome. Like that is some of the coolest shit I've ever heard from fantasy football. Like way to draft. Like that is sick.
Wait, but here's the thing, like, because personally, like, I don't want to draft like 4 through 7. So like, I might take a 16 seed, so I get the 10 pick.
Yeah.
So you gotta have strategy. If you want that back to back, if you want to go back to back.
Zach, you would have to think about that because you're used to not winning the league. You got to think about a loser strategy.
I've only not made the playoffs once, and it was complete BS. It was by 3 points.
How many titles you have?
It's only been 3 years. I've made it to the semi. I cannot believe the 1 year Man City beat me by like 4. Stefan Diggs beat me. And
wasn't that when Kamara dropped like a 50 piece?
Yeah, the next week was when I had Kamara. Championship week, I was out of it, and he dropped 6 touchdowns.
I'm him.
Disgusting.
Oh, good rake, Hayden. Good rake.
Thank you.
So my rake is, I'll do my rake and my take. My rake is pretty obvious. It was one of the biggest trades in MLB history with the San Diego Padres. And I know everyone's probably already knows what I'm about to say. It is true. Everyone's seen the news. Brandon Drury is a San Diego Padre. In his first at-bat, his first pitch, he hit a grand slam in the first inning. Brandon Drury is there to make some noise and take the Padres over that hump. Finally give some competition to the Dodgers. And it's just great to see. First pitch, all right? First at-bat, first pitch in the Padres jersey, grand slam for a player that's on a 1-year contract having an absolute breakout year, trying to be who's going to get a bag next year. So shout out Brandon Drury, DHing too, and he's a utility player all around there. Great trade by the Padres. I'm really proud of what they did. My other rake is the Cincinnati Reds, not because of the Cincinnati Reds themselves, but because of the players that now play on other teams. We had Eugenio Suarez hit 2 home runs against the Yankees this week, 3-run homer. Jesse Winker also homered against the Yankees. Luis Castillo also threw a great game against the Yankees and secured a W. Brandon Drury, a great game. First pitch in a Padre uniform, grand slam. So shout out Cincinnati Reds. Had a great trade deadline, and all the players that used to be on the Reds are having. Oh, and Castellanos homered yesterday too. So everyone check on your family members. But it was a great trade deadline, and I'm proud of everything we did. My take was, Zach, edit this out because I forget who my take is at the moment. Hold on, it'll come to me. Maybe somebody else go.
All right, I'll do my take. My take is the Washington Nationals, who in 2018 had Daniel Murphy, Bryce Harper, Max Scherzer, Juan Soto, Anthony Rendon, and Trey Turner, and now all of them are off the team. That is, and all of 4 of them are under 30 still. It's disgusting times to be a Nationals fan. I don't care how many prospects you get back. They're literally older than Soto. It's a tough time to be a Nationals fan ever since they've sold on literally all their franchise players.
Well, I'm sure the Nationals definitely got a good return for those players, right?
They got a great haul for Soto, I suppose. But
we'll see. Besides that, I mean, the Trey Turner thing, Josiah Gray's not doing much. I know he gets me negative points in fantasy sometimes.
Max Scherzer, what they even end up getting for him? Rendon.
Yeah, I think that. Well, it was Scherzer and Trey were the same trade, right? Yeah, so they got the Josiah Gray and then a few other prospects that haven't done anything made it yet. Just tough times. Rendon and Harper left in free agency.
Yeah, you're right.
So did Murphy. It's tough. You remember Man City?
Yeah, I do remember. I'll make it to where you can edit it to where I do both. And my rake is the Chicago Cubs. It's the Chicago Cubs because they failed to make a move at the trade deadline. I mean, I know they traded like David Robertson and a couple relievers, but Wilson Contreras to not
And Ian
and
Happ.
Ian Happ, but Contreras, you could have got a
Especially,
pretty. They just asked for way too much from my understanding, but he's in his contract year and he's not going to sign an extension with the Cubs. So they literally just took a massive L because they got nothing in return for him, and they're not going to get him with an extension unless they want to blow my mind and give him an offer sheet to where that they can come up with something that he stays a Cub, which I don't see happening.
I don't
But the
think so.
Chicago Cubs, I love to see it as a Reds fan, but the Chicago Cubs definitely. If I was a Cubs fan, I would be very upset with how this trade deadline went.
Oh, without a doubt, you have to be. They were expecting to get like the number one prospect in baseball, who's a catcher. Like they thought they were going to get like multiple top 20 prospects, and for now you just don't get a thing. Especially if you throw Happ in there, you were probably getting 4 top 100 prospects between the two.
It wanted too much.
They just blew it. Like that's like coming from an Orioles fan. Like I know blowing trades 101, and like that's what they did. Like we got nothing for Machado and all them, and they're getting nothing for those guys.
Hayden, you got a take?
Yeah. My take is kind of a small one. It's just been really pissing me off lately. Wardle. Wardle's been fucking hard as shit lately.
Yes.
It's been annoyingly hard. Dude,
Preach.
the other day was Coyley. Coyly.
Yes.
Dude, if you're
I had CO blank LY and I couldn't get it.
Yeah, if you have one Y in there, I'm like, all right, fuck you. 2? That's outrageous. That's ridiculous.
Disgusting.
The first one, I think it was like watch, and I just didn't get it. I don't know why. Today, I had like by the third guess, I had OUTH. So I'm thinking Alf. Like the word I guessed was south. I was like mouth. That wasn't it. So now I'm down to 5. And I'm like, shit, I don't fucking know. I just started pressing in like random letters. I couldn't think of anything that rhymed with south or mouth. I found some nonsense word, and then I was going through the alphabet, and I was like, oh my god, youth. Like,
I'm not going to lie, I got it on 3.
Yeah, bro. Like the Y on the front just fucked me because like youth is spelled like mouth and south, but it doesn't sound the same. So it didn't even come to my head.
Yeah,
I was so pissed, bro.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's a good one too. Keeps everybody in the loop of it. Did the New York Times buy Wordle? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just has it been going downhill since then, or?
I remember one of their first words right after they bought them was like some French word that nobody got, and everybody was pissed. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
They definitely trolled everyone with that.
Yeah.
Is it time for everybody's favorite segment?
Hayden, how's the Bachelorrette? How are we looking?
All right, boys. All right, let's break into this bitch. So, I just want to clarify, when I said let's break into this bitch, I was talking about just like the show as a general. I'm not talking about the women. And I say that because another Hayden in the show, the one I talk about, I was a big fan of for a little bit, literally right off the bat, just started saying the dumbest shit possible. He was saying first of all, he called Gabby, one of the Bachelorettes. He's like, hey, I'm going to focus on Rachel. You're a little too rough around the edges or some shit. And she was like, oh, thanks. And then, so like, they talked about that, and like, it was fucking awkward. So he was like talking about it afterwards. She's like, I only said she's rough around the edges because she called herself rough around the edges. And he said, and I quote, I'm not saying this myself, he was like, bitch, if you don't want to be called rough around the edges, you shouldn't tell yourself you're rough around the edges. So like, he's called her bitch, basically. And like, do you not realize that you are around other men that are trying to beat you? Like, that's the easiest out. Like, fucking the guy who told on him was fucking Meatball, bro.
Meatball. No, yeah. Meatball's a snitch.
All right. Well, like in his defense, bro, this dude Hayden's fucking.
I mean, you've got to win.
I'd be if I was like going against him, I'd be cheering. I'd be like, yeah, keep going. Let her have it. Let her have it.
Lay into her.
He was also talking like, saying like, yeah, Rachel's got way bigger tits than my ex-girlfriend or some shit like that. And they were like, oh yeah, cool, man. And like, he was even saying, like, could you really imagine marrying any of these chicks? Like, if anybody here could say they imagine they see themselves marrying these girls, they're fucking they're out of their mind. And everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, they were literally, so they were in France. They left the mansion in LA, went to France, went to Paris, and he's just fucking bringing the vibe down, saying these bitches this and bigger tits that. It was fucking weird, bro. So, did Meatball snitch? Yes, but like, I mean, first of all, his name's Meatball. Like, how? I'd be like, oh, you got me. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad if that was me. I was like, oh, Meatball does it again. You know?
Classic Meatball.
Classic Meatball. But like, so he went and snitched to Rachel, and then like she was pissed, and like right before Meatball snitched, Hayden and Rachel had like a one-on-one like talk session, and Hayden was giving her this sob story about how he had this dog Rambo back home that was like dying of cancer, and like just really fucking milked it, and like they were basically done talking. He's like, yeah, that's why I wanted to share that with you. And this dude comes in, he's like, hey man, do you mind if I steal her? Because like it was his turn to talk to her or whatever. He's like, yeah, man, for sure. And then he left. And like as he's talking to as like Rachel talking to some other guy, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I would have rather her like been like, no, we're talking about something serious right now, and tell him to go away, but she didn't, so it's kind of a red flag for me. He's like, Rambo's like, I love Rambo. Everyone's like, you're so weird. So that when Meatball snitches, she pulls him in and she's fucking pissed. She's so mad. She's like, Hayden, can I talk to you? He's like, oh yeah, for sure. So he goes back with her. She's like, do you have any idea why I pulled you back? He's like, I'm guessing something to do with Rambo. She was like, the fucking dog. He was like, yeah.
No one cares about your fucking dog, Hayden.
He was definitely like, he got called back. He was like, oh, it is show time.
He's like, that dog shit really got her.
Yeah. He played the dog card and he was like, oh, it worked.
Yeah.
He was walking in that bitch like this.
So like she talks to him. She's like, all right, you're fucking out of here. Like I'm sending you out. He's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then like the cringe moment of the episode by far, she walks him out. She's like, all right, goodbye. And he's like, thank you for your time, and goes to hug her, and she just like stands there, bro, and doesn't hug him back. It's so awkward.
Like, the awkward like half hug.
So he's out. He's out.
He's out, bro. They were filming him after he got kicked out. He was like, honestly, I'm glad. I've been missing Rambo too much. He's like,
I need to go be with Rambo.
He literally says like, I'm gonna go be with Rambo, and then at the very end, he was like, I hope Rachel finds someone that.
You had him on your hot seat. That's big.
Yeah, he tanked real fast.
Huge for the hot seat.
Yeah,
huge for the hot seat. Now it's got credibility.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Is that like equivalent to like last four or first four out or like
last four in?
Yeah. So perfect. So he didn't make it. Nice.
Yeah.
Good call. Great call, Hayden.
Thank you. So but the final line he says is, I hope Rachel finds someone that loves her as much as Rambo loves me. And everyone's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Bro had to play it one last time.
Yeah.
He had to play it one last time for the females who watch.
Yeah. But basically, overall, like, summary, Gabby's, like, really connecting with some guys, and it's going really well for her, while Rachel feels like a lot of the guys are, like, more for Gabby than her, and, like, dude.
Are they?
I mean, technically, yes, but, like, let me go over my notes real fast.
So, like, Hayden's gone, right?
Yes, he's out. He's off the show. Yeah, he's done.
He's probably, like, his exit interview was probably, like, he's trying to get other chicks to slide in his DMs and check on his dog. Like, hey.
I bet girls did, for sure.
I'd be like, if I was the girl, I'd be like, you name your dog Rambo and it's dying of cancer? Like,
yeah, bro,
should be winning the battle.
I was like, dude, I think he wants to fuck his dog for real.
He don't got that dog in
him. So
he ain't got the dog in him. He gonna be in the dog.
You gotta be in the dog.
All right, let's get
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So what I was gonna say though is, So there was one point where it was like Gabby's group date. So like all of her guys and like her doing like a boxing match. And then Rachel brought her guys to the boxing match.
Against her?
No. Like the guys box each other and she like cheers them on. So then Rachel brought her guys.
Whoa.
Rachel brought her guys to watch, and then she goes and sits by Gabby. And the guys stand there, and they're standing ringside watching them fight, like, oh shit, hell yeah. And then Rachel is like, I'm so annoyed and mad. Like, they didn't make any effort to come talk to me. Or like, that'd been a great time to come make a move. And like, I guess if you're on the show for that, maybe, but like, coming from a dumb guy, I understand how dumb guys work. And like, if you put boxing individuals right in front of me, I'm not like, that's so much focus.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking
It's
about
entertainment.
your date. Like,
This
this
is
is
especially two dudes you now know.
right. Like you told us to come here and watch them fight. You want us to do what you did. You told us you want us to not watch them fight and go sit with you. That would be not doing what you told us to do. And wouldn't that annoy you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely see where she's coming from as a dumb guy. I fucking get it, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
And
I
then
agree with that.
the only other thing I had was there's this dude named Logan who said he's for Rachel, and like this whole episode he was like, you know, I was on Rachel's side, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like leaning toward Gabby, which goes back to what Rachel said about how she like is feeling so what's it called?
Damn.
Insecure about how like Gabby's guys really like her and all her guys don't really like her. So he was like, I gotta talk to Rachel, I gotta tell her, you know, how I feel. And he was like waiting for his turn to talk to her, but the whole Hayden shit blew up, and she's like, all right, I'm fucking done talking to people. I'm just gonna get my roses out. So he was gonna tell her I'm switching to Gabby or I'm going home. She like goes to give him a rose. She says Logan, and he walks up, and you'd think he'd be like, actually I can't, you know, I'm for Gabby. I don't want to take this. It'd be wrong. He's like, yeah, I'll take that rose. And then he's like, now I really gotta tell her. I'm like, dude, you are fucked.
Now I really gotta tell her. He was like, now that I secured the rose and I'm still here, now we can have this talk.
Yeah,
Process
exactly.
elimination, dude. He got somebody else out of there. Now he's gonna tell her. I kind of see the game he's playing.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I mean, it's a good
you
strategy.
gotta look out for
one less
yourself.
body
You
in
gotta take
there.
that rose.
One less body.
Like, yeah, it's a good strategy, but you're supposed to be there for love, man. It's not real lovey of you, you know.
No. I want to beat the other people.
Some shiesty shit.
I think when you have that much testosterone in a room, like it becomes less about the females and more about beating the other people.
Exactly.
Like I do really think that it gets to that point
Absolutely.
where they're just like, I just want to beat these guys.
Yeah.
That's why like none of them work out, because you realize you were just more in for it because you were like, I can beat these guys to get this girl, and then you're like,
Yeah.
they really want the girl now.
So my power rankings: Gabby's top 5. Nate, he was like her first one-on-one. Like, he didn't move. Eric, besides him spelling his last name, he spells his name Erich, which is yuck. But I mean, she digs it, I guess. So he's another one-on-one, went well. So he's number 2. Jason was her one-on-one this past episode. He admitting that, like, because she was like, why are you so reserved? You're really quiet. He's like, I have trouble communicating, but I go to therapy, and she helps me like figure everything out. She's like, wow, you go to therapy? Not many men do that. Like, that was like perfect timing. Like, he played that very well. I'm not saying he used it as a card, but I'm saying like that aspect really like made him shoot up the power rankings. Number 4 is Johnny. So old, handsome face, Jason, with the long hair. He didn't get a rose last episode, so he left. So Johnny is the new handsome face, but he's 4th just because of his looks. Honestly, I don't think he's had a one-on-one with Gabby. He's just so hot. She's like, you're one of my first roses.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for him.
And then 5 is a dude named Spencer. I don't really know much about him other than he got the group date rose, which means like out of all the men, he made an impression. So that shot him up number 5.
For him, okay.
All right, and then Rachel's top 5. First, dude named Tino. TINO. She said she thinks she loves him, so she might be
Ooh,
fucking crazy. Yeah,
L
that's
word.
yeah,
L
yeah.
word.
One date. Ooh.
He's jumping up from 3 to 1.
Yeah, like he went on a one-on-one with her right after she was talking about how insecure she feels. So like he picked her up and like showed it, like made her feel spectacular. So that's another reason he shot up.
That's why.
Number 2 is Tyler, kind of the opposite. Tino's Italian and like big and strong. Tyler's kind of smaller and like more sensitive, but he was very, very vulnerable and like they read poems like in a group date and like he cried during his or some shit. And then she was like, all right, you get the extra time. And then number 3 is a dude named Zach. Handsome guy that kind of just floats. Yeah,
Big.
yeah, still fantastic.
Big for guys named Zach.
Huge.
He's kind of like Johnny for Gabby, where he's just like hot and cool, so he kind of just floats along so far.
Huge.
Meatball, because one, he's just
Let's go.
Ford Meatball. He's so unique, it's hard to ignore. Plus, he's the one that broke the news about Hayden, so he made like a, hey, I'll be honest with you, I'm always on your side. So that's why he shot up the power rankings, went from the bottom 4 to top 5.
Is he at 2?
That's huge.
He's up 4.
Oh, okay, 4.
And then 5 is a dude named Avon. Besides the fact that his name's Avon, he's actually pretty cool. He's another handsome guy.
He fell though.
Yeah, he did fall. But it's because like
2 to 5's a big drop.
Yeah. And then I did a last 3 just because it's like the numbers are getting smaller now.
Good.
1 was Mario. He got the last rose overall. He's not really doing much, just kind of in the background. 2 is a dude named Michael. She said his name, and I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" Like, I have no idea. And then 3 is a dude named Ethan. He's Asian. He's like kind of nerdy, but he's like gaining a little bit of traction. So that's why he went from number 1 to 3, because like number 1 he didn't really do anything. I didn't know who he was. He didn't speak much, and now he's like getting the attention of the women and like making them laugh. So that's why he went from 1 to 3, still bottom 3 in. After this week, I'm going to be doing top 3 power rankings and last 2 in, just because there's
how many guys will it be down to?
Maybe 15.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's getting cut down pretty severely. That's
Football.
maybe 15
Football's
max.
right around the corner.
First round cuts.
It was a good breakdown, Hayden.
That was good.
Each week it gets better and better. Graphic. I love the intel. I feel like I'm in the loop. And
why would you need to watch it when you just got me to recap it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I don't have cable TV either, so this is like awesome. This is way better for us.
You're welcome.
All right, Hayden, you have the story, fact, thought of the day?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to point out, isn't it fucking bananas that Seth MacFarlane, like, not only that he voices so many characters in Family Guy, but a lot of episodes, he writes, like, songs with the characters' voices. Like, there's the whole episode where Peter and Quagmire are in a band. Every episode, Brian and Stewie has a musical number. I mean, there's so many, like Shaboopy with Tom Brady. Like, there's so many songs.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, if he's that many voices, that means that he can sing very well, not only in his own voice, but in other characters' voices that he makes up. Like, some people can't, A, sing good with their own voice, or B, make up other voices they can perfect, and he can do all that and also sing amazingly and harmonize with himself, which is such a weird theory. But yeah, he can sing in his own voice, and Stewie's voice, and Quagmire's, Peter's, all that. Like, he's a great singer in different voices.
He's one of the most talented people on earth. And if you haven't seen it, it's like, I don't know if it's a Saturday night. I don't know if it's a SNL skit or what. But look it up on YouTube. It's like Seth MacFarlane, and he does like, he's getting interviewed by someone, and it's like a speed round where they ask him something about like all of his characters, and then he just responds in that character like that, like just instantly.
Yeah.
And it's so satisfying and impressive.
It's his opening monologue for SNL when he hosted, and it's like singing a song.
Yeah. Dude, it's awesome. It's super cool. You need to look it up if you have never seen it. It's like a 10, 15-minute video, and it'll suck you right in, and you'll watch the whole thing. It's awesome. Seth MacFarlane, very talented guy.
He's insane.
Yeah, I just thought that was so crazy.
And he just has so many shows. Like,
yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, so he has that. And he also has American Dad, where he voices a lot of voices on that show too.
And he's got a great sense of humor.
Yes,
phenomenal sense. I would love to drink a beer with that guy.
His best joke he's ever told, I think, is when he was hosting like the Academy Awards or something, and it was when Daniel Day-Lewis made the movie Lincoln, and he was like, "Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis was a really big method actor. He really tried to get into Abraham Lincoln's head." You know, funny, the last actor that tried to get in Abraham Lincoln's head was John Wilkes Booth. And everyone's like, oh, he's like, it's been 200 years. 200 years.
Yeah,
too soon. Too soon.
Get over it.
It was so funny,
man.
bro.
He is a legend. Does that wrap it up for tonight's episode?
That's all I got.
Football is back.
Football's so back.
Are we riding the over? Are we riding the over?
If it's 30.5 points, yeah.
We're on the over. I saw, okay. All right. Over 30.5, Jags, Raiders. I personally think it's going to be under. I feel like the first game of the season is always kind of like big expectations and then little execution. But whatever.
We're just happy to hit other players.
We're going to stick a fake field goal, fake punt touchdown.
I hope so. That would be amazing. That's what I'm dreaming for.
That's a great prop bet, a special teams touchdown.
Beautiful. Fullback, fat man touchdown.
Ooh.
Big
trick
boy.
plays, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that wraps it up.
All right.
Keep your eyes out for a tweet, and we're gonna be on the fantasy football. Football's back, man. Football's back. Good job, everyone. Good show.